Hello. Welcome to the Smile Revolution show. And guess who? I just got my new doll today. This is from a photo of me, and she wanted to come and say hello. It's Miss Wow, another Miss Wow doll. I have a series of dolls. Anyway, I am. We we raise awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile, and I am. Let's see. I am an entertainer, hat designer, singer songwriter, and host of this show, 158th show since March 2020. Not all interview shows, but I was doing a variety of shows. And then before that, I had a radio show years ago for the Smile Revolution. And so I'm back into my interviews the last, I guess, year or so. And I've been having a lot of great guests. And I have a piece of paper that keeps flying. Sorry. Anyway, tonight I have a really great show with Terre Roche. And I'll be telling you a little bit about her in a couple minutes. But I want to sing, actually. I have a bunch of, I'm sorry about that. My sheet keeps flying for some reason. I have a song, actually, an album of Smile songs that I wrote with Roland Musa and then Laura Molitor, who has a band in Austin called Rare Birds in Flight, submitted a song years ago. I'm just going to sing a little bit of it. Give me a little smile and take my little smile, and we'll just smile a while. So for everyone to see, I may not know your name, but our world is the same. With all the fear and pain, a smile can set us free. Smile with me, laugh with me, love with me, smile with me. Anyway, it's just a short part of it goes on, but I just felt like singing a little bit of it. And who's there? Oh, Laura's there. Laura, who wrote the song, submitted it. Thanks, Laura, for writing that song. And I have a few things I want to go over before I introduce you to Terre. Okay, so let's see. Mahatma Gandhi said, if you hold up your head with a smile on your face and are truly thankful, you're blessed, because the majority can, but most do not. And let a smile be your umbrella. It's a song by Perry Como. On a rainy day, just let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy day. And if your sweetie cries, just tell her that a smile will always pay. Whenever skies are gray, don't you worry or fret. A smile will bring the sunshine and you'll never get wet. So let a smile be your umbrella on a rainy, rainy day. And then, okay. Thanks. Yeah, it's a great song. Thank you. Okay, then this was written 200 years ago by Rabbi Nachman. Nothing is more damaging than depression. Depression is the cause of all kinds of ills, including sickness and disease. When you're happy, come what may, you are free. Your mind will be settled and you will understand things clearly. Try and turn your very depression and worry into joy. If you really set your mind to it, you will find that even amidst the worst troubles and suffering, there's an opening you can use to convert all the depression into joy. Number 1, smile. Most people are full of pain and worry and all kinds of troubles, but when you come to them with a smiling face, you can literally give them life. Number 2, make it a habit to always sing a happy song. It will send joy into your soul. 3, judge others favorably. You may see much that is bad in them, still search out their good points. 4, judge yourself favorably. Sift through for your good points and take joy in them. 5, don't despair. If you believe you can damage, believe you can repair. 6, ask God or love, whatever you call a higher power, to help you understand why you came into this world and how you can fulfill your purpose. Give some charity. Number 7, give some charity. Charity brings peace. 8, tell the truth. Truth brings peace. and know that in life one has to pass over a very narrow bridge. The main thing is not to be afraid. Now, it's easier said than done. I must say, I mean, I have moments when I'm fearful, and I'm not always smiling, but it's about giving and receiving smiles, and with joy, with obviously with love. There's a lot of fake smiles out there too. Oh, maybe I wrote that already. Oh, I may have posted already. Oh, Donna's on. You look beautiful. Oh, thanks, Donna. Thank you. Well, I'm going gray, so I've got like 5 different colors going on. You can see my gray hair here. I've got gray, all kinds of like 5 different colors. So it's actually looking kind of interesting. Okay, so I want to get to the interview because it's really good. Okay, so my interview, Terre Roche, is a singer, songwriter, guitar player, teacher, author, innkeeper, and founding member of the trio, the Roaches. They were like famous in the like 80s, I think early 90s, are 3 sisters. She's worked with Paul Simon, Philip Glass, Linda Ronstadt, Meredith Monk, Don Was, Robert Fripp, Tracey Ullman, Kathy Mateo, and Garry, among others. Terry has come full circle in her musical journey with the release of her new album Book. This is a rare collection of live recordings of Terry and her sister Maggie, I can't read my writing, performing songs that they created while touring college campuses when they were teenagers, so about 1970. Well, she'll tell you more about it. And the book is actually over there, and we're going to be talking about it in a minute. So she's going to tell you how to even pronounce it, because can you see that son? I can't even say it correctly. So anyway, here she is. I'm going to go off here, and then we're going to be on together here in a minute. Terry.
Hi, Mindy. It's so great to see you.
It's good to see you. It's so nice to like see somebody, even though we're not physically together. It's still great. I love seeing everybody on my show. It's like really fun.
Well, you really light up the screen, as you do light up a room whenever you are in it, with
Oh,
all the colors
thank
that
you.
you have.
Thank you.
I love colors.
Well, it just, we need more color in the world, and it's more cheerful. But
I agree.
since the pandemic, though, in fashion, there's more color. There's a lot more color now, and it's great. People are catching up to me.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's really good. So anyway, your book is amazing. I don't know what this means. So you got to explain
Thank
the
you.
title of this. This is one of your songs, which we're going to play a little bit of in a little bit. But it's "Can Y'all See That Sun?"
Right. It's, excuse me. The song is called Can You See That Sun? And
Oh,
it was a song that my sister Maggie and I wrote together when she was 13 and I was 12. And we had just learned to play the guitar from a show on PBS called Folk Guitar with Laura Weber. So we knew a few chords, and she wrote these lyrics and I wrote the music. And we were growing up in suburban New Jersey, and we had never traveled anywhere. So we had this dream and these kind of ideas about the West. We were sort of a little obsessed with, like, I want to go out West. And so the song is, 2 kids sort of fantasizing about wanting to go out West. And that's why I named this project Can You See That Sun? After the song.
oh, I see. That's amazing because you were like 12 and 13. That's incredible. That's like really neat.
It was that, well, we had just learned, the picture on the front of the book was the publicity picture that was used when Maggie and I were picked to go on a college tour. And in that picture, I was probably 16 and she was 18 when that picture was
Oh,
taken.
okay. Okay.
And so they used that as the publicity. And we're going back a long way, you know, the tour that we
1970?
went on.
When was that, about 1970?
Yeah, it was around 1970, and I was supposed to be in high school. You know, I would have been in my senior year of high school, but we were given this opportunity, and so we wound up going all over the United States to these college campuses after never having traveled anywhere.
That's
So
amazing.
just the two of us, you know, but it was an official outfit that was sending us. It wasn't like we're running away from home, you
I
know.
know, right.
You know, it was very organized. So, but what an opportunity. We were on stage 6 nights a week, you know.
Well,
For,
wait, who sent you?
the name of the outfit was Campus Directions. And the branch of Campus Directions was called the Coffee House Circuit. And it was run by Marilyn Lipsius, who she heard me and Maggie playing at a hoot, which is what they called the open
Right,
mics back then,
right.
at the bitter end. And she
In the
came
village,
back,
in Greenwich Village.
yeah,
People
and
who don't know. Right.
she came backstage and offered us this opportunity.
Oh, so you were already living in Greenwich Village?
No,
No, you weren't. Okay.
we were living in New Jersey,
Oh,
but
that's right. Okay. But you were visiting and you would go play?
we were subletting the apartment of a friend of our father's
Oh,
in the village.
okay.
So we were allowed to spend the summer in Greenwich Village living in this apartment, and we both had waitress jobs. You know, we
Okay.
had jobs to get summer jobs, you know.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And at night we would go and play at the open mics. The
Oh, that's
hoops.
really cool. And that's when you met Roland Musa in the
No,
late
we
60s?
met Roland later
Oh, later. Okay.
because we did this touring for 2 years,
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
you know, and then we were signed. Well, Paul Simon discovered us, but it really all came from Terry Thal. I don't know if you know Terry
Yeah, I
Thal, but
met her with you and Richard Barone
of
and
course,
Roland in the village.
of course,
Right, right.
yeah,
Yes.
right. So
Oh,
you know,
right. Terry is the one. Okay.
right. She's the one who had us audition for Marilyn Lipsius, and she
Okay.
also had us told us about Paul Simon teaching a songwriting class, and we
Right.
went and kind of crashed the class. We waited for him in the lobby of the building, you
That's
know,
amazing.
and he invited us into the class, and
Okay.
so he eventually signed us. He and his business partner, Michael Tannen,
Okay.
who is the
Who's in the
executive
book? It's in your
producer of
book.
the, yeah,
In your book. Right.
yeah. So they signed us up to a record deal, and they gave us an advance, and we got an apartment in Greenwich Village with the advance.
Okay.
One of the first people we met at that point was Roland. He
That's
had,
amazing.
yeah,
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't realize that. Okay.
yeah, because we were looking around like, okay, where do we play, you know, here? Um, and by now we had this whole repertoire, and we had been on tour for,
Right.
you know, so we had gotten sort of our performance legs together. So we were looking, where can we play? And there was this place called Roland's Place.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Roland.
Hi,
I know,
Roland.
I know
Okay.
you're listening in.
It's my husband, as you know.
Yes, Mindy's husband.
Right. So that's really neat. I didn't realize that. But this is all in Richard Barone's book, who I just interviewed Richard a couple weeks ago, Music
Right.
Plus Revolution, Greenwich Village in the 60s. And that you're
Great
in
book.
there talking about this in the book.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how did your parents, I just have to ask really quick, how did your parents feel about you going, the two of you and your teenagers going cross country?
Well, you know, it was so unusual.
I know.
It's not like anyone else in the town or in our
Right, that's what I'm
school
saying.
was doing this. So my parents were very encouraging of, uh, they didn't push us, but they were very encouraging of things like, if you wrote a story or if you drew a picture or if you came up with a song, they encouraged artistic
Creativity.
things,
Yeah.
instead of, because they didn't have a lot of money. My father was in and out of work,
Okay.
so it's
Oh,
like we grew up having to entertain ourselves.
wow. Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
we didn't have like a lot of, we didn't go to movies much, it's like you
Really?
had to
Oh,
figure out, like you could never say to my parents, you could never say, I'm bored. It's
okay.
like
Okay.
nobody cared if you were bored.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So that's how you all got into like you were drawing and
Yeah,
creating music and oh, that's
yeah,
interesting.
we kind of grew up with this idea that this was a great thing to do with your time, go draw, like if you were underfoot, in the kitchen or something, my mother would say, go upstairs and draw a picture.
That's amazing. Were your parents creative or musical?
My father was tone deaf, but my parents met in the town of Buffalo. They were in a small theater company together, and they met in a play. So
Okay.
so they were, they
They were
were,
like actors and so they were supportive of anything creative.
yes. And my mother, her whole life, she wrote. She wrote poetry. She wrote a novel at one point. She wrote short
Okay.
stories.
Okay.
And when she was 94 years old,
Mm-hmm.
she took one of her self-published books down to the local library in the town where she lived, and the mayor happened to see the book and called her up and said, we want to make you poet laureate of Warwick, New York, which is where she lived. So this was the last
Oh,
year of her life.
wow. Oh, that's amazing.
It was the first time she was awarded for her creativity. And it was so great because she had always, like with us, it wasn't like they were pushing us to get an award or to get a record deal or
Right.
something. It was the doing of the art.
Right.
And when I look back now, I'm going to be 70 in April. I look back on the whole thing and I'm so grateful that they pointed us in that direction, because long after your career is over, you have this way of relating to the world that's
Right.
just great.
Right. Well, right. When you're an I've been an artist my whole life too, so in varied forms. But it's like, yeah, you never artists don't retire.
Hmm.
They're always creating.
Right, we keel over.
We keel over. We're still creating till the last minute
Right.
if we're able to. So yeah, I know it's wonderful. So that's good to know. I didn't realize all that. That's wonderful. You had that support from
Yeah.
your family. So that's great. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you. We're going to say something about Richard Barone.
Oh, I was just going to say that, and I know you're a big fan of his book, and so am I. And
Oh,
I
it's
know,
incredible.
yeah, his book is amazingly researched
Oh,
and detailed.
every
Yeah,
page, right? It's
just
like you're at the edge
really
of your
well
seat,
done.
every page.
And I also am very grateful to Richard for, over the years, when I got out of doing the Roaches, and was mainly kind of focusing on teaching guitar,
Right.
Richard occasionally would pull me into his sphere of things,
I know, that's
ask me
wonderful.
to participate in
Right,
stuff. And that's how you and I met, was at the his series, The Village
right. In the
Nuns.
village, right. And
Right,
Roland was there.
right.
And that, yeah, so I know that was great. But I did see you, like, I think you were at the Pete Seeger oil spill.
That's right.
You were there, but I didn't really meet you. But I mean, Roland was like, there's Terry Rowe. But we didn't talk. I didn't meet you, but I saw you. I know you were there.
Right, that was, I think we were playing with
2009.
Afro Jersey in that.
Oh,
Yeah, yes, that was me, Marlon Cherry, and Siddiqui Conde.
oh,
And
wow.
we did the songs in Mandingo and English, all those songs. Afro Jersey was
I know about that. Yeah, because I did promote your Afro Jersey during the pandemic. I was always promoting musicians when I was doing my dance parties or whatever. So yeah, I
Thank you.
remember that. Yeah, that's
Thanks for
great.
doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really great. So anyway, and then okay, so I love your drawings in the book too. Your
Thank you.
drawings are so fun and whimsical. Let's see if I can show. They're just really fun. They're like really colorful. Let me see if I can show those a little bit. And then your photos in there. Who did the photos? Like on the other side, like you have all these photos.
Yes, well, a lot of them were done by Rob DeMartin, who is a wonderful
Oh, okay.
photographer and friend of mine.
Okay.
But there's one drawing on page 57,
Okay.
and
Right, I'm
that's the
looking.
one. That's the one opposite the lyric for West Virginia.
Right, here we go.
Yeah, and that's the picture of someone who I know named Tom Stout.
Okay.
His grandparents' farm in West Virginia, and that's the one picture that I have an organic connection to the picture because
Okay.
for some reason Maggie and I toured a lot in West Virginia. there
Oh.
are
Oh,
there
that's
are two songs on the record, West
okay.
Virginia and The Mountain People. Both of those songs were written, when we were touring in West Virginia, of all places.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. All right, so I've got to show you, of course, the picture that I took of
Yes.
Roland. Okay, here's a picture of Roland and Terry with the hat. Roland's wearing one of the hats I designed.
Right?
That's when
Right.
we met with Richard Barone at his Village Nights in 2019. And anyway, and you wrote a lot of nice things about Roland, so that was good. And he wrote some things too. So thank you. That was really nice.
Yeah, well, that was a really nice night too because Richard and we didn't realize that we both knew Roland. And so,
I know, right?
and so when that came up, when I was going to do that gig, I said, let's find Roland and see if he wants to do his song,
Indian
Indian
Prayer
Prayer.
with Tom Pacheco that they both wrote together that Richie Havens recorded.
Right.
Well, what happened was I was doing my one woman show uptown that day,
I
and
remember.
Roland played with me my Smile Revolution songs, and so we were in the city, and then we came down, and that's how it just unfolded that we were
Yeah.
already in the city that day. So that worked out really good.
That was a really fun night. You can see it in our facial expressions in the picture that you took.
Yeah, yeah, right. I know that was really great. I know it was a great shot of the two of you. And so it's really interesting about, I read the, what you wrote about the folder,
Yes,
how
but
you dropped out of your music. Yeah, I know.
yeah, I want to talk about the folder, but before that,
Okay.
I'd like to mention about the QR codes on the,
Yes, right.
so this is a new format to my knowledge. No one has
I
done
never
this
heard of it. I know
before,
it's so interesting.
right? And
On e-
this was Michael Tannen's idea was
oh,
because I wanted to make a book where the lyrics were large enough print to see,
mhm.
and that's why I put the border drawings around the lyrics to sort of give them like a dignified presentation,
Yeah, it's really pretty.
right?
Yeah, I
And
like how
then
you did that.
and then Michael said, "Well, why don't you put a QR code next to each lyric so that people, when they're reading that lyric, they can immediately hear that song
I love it. It's
rather than sifting through
it's
a
amazing.
CD.
I love. It was such a great idea. I never heard of anything like this.
Yes.
I wonder if he invented it. I don't never seen anything
I,
like it.
I believe he did. I mean, it was his idea,
Uh-huh.
and,
Okay.
and it was just an idea that he came up with while we were working on the book together. And we had such a great team of people on this book. Lisa Brigantino, she and her husband Tom Miliotto, he restored all of the live recordings.
Okay.
And then Kathy Nestor designed the book. And I practically didn't have to say anything to her. She came up with all of the ideas of where things should go, and she would send it to me. And I was like, yes.
So wait, explain to everybody exactly. This is all music from the 1970s, right? Or some from the 2000s, or
Yes. And what happened was Maggie and I did a tour in 2000
okay,
in which we revised all of these arrangements, as much as we could remember of exactly what we had done
okay,
teenagers.
oh, okay,
Because we didn't have any recordings of it. But we went on this tour, and in Albany, or actually it might have been Schenectady. I hope I didn't offend someone by saying Albany when it was
okay, okay,
and So anyway, Pat Tessitore, who's an engineer up there, he recorded these things. We didn't, really know that the recordings were still around. And then in 1973 or 4, out in San Diego, Doug Sklar was an engineer out there who had recorded us then. So I had been sent, Doug had sent me these recordings years ago, and then Pat sent them in 2019.
oh, I see, okay. It was out of the blue, though. You didn't know you were getting this.
Out of the blue, it was like, would you like these two complete sets of you and Maggie live? So it's not like they were able to be mixed on a board or whatever, And so Michael Tannen got the idea of, let's find the people that you worked with back then and the people that remember you from being on these college tours.
Right.
And let's interview as many as we can find. And we interviewed 19 different people. And we did it in Tom and Lisa's apartment on the phone, and that's what the quotes in the book are from those interviews. I had to go through the interviews and find things that people said that would help tell the story.
That's amazing.
Of what happened
So
here.
amazing. It is so cool. And and you didn't, well, Maggie passed on in 2017. So
Yeah.
it's really a wonderful, this is some of the pictures of them. They're so great. Yeah, so it's wonderful to honor her with this book too.
Well, yeah, I thought, one of the things I thought was that that was an amazing collection of songs that she wrote so young,
It's amazing.
and with no instruction about music. And we both had not had music lessons, so we were learning by doing,
So you never had any she never had any songwriting class, nothing. She just started writing songs?
She said when we learned how to play the guitar off the television show, she would learn, that we would learn, here's an E chord, here's an A chord,
Right.
the D chord. So, and we were learning these folk songs like Malvina Reynolds songs, Little Boxes,
Right.
Phil Oakes songs, Bob Dylan, there were, but also things like Skip to My Lou, things that were simple and easy to play. We were learning those. And then Maggie would go and she would write something, and then I would learn the melody of what she wrote. She would figure out harmonies and counterpoint, and I'd figure out something to do on the guitar.
That's amazing. Yeah, without any, that's really neat.
And we didn't even think of ourselves as being excessively talented. It was more like Maggie she really was driven with this thing that she
You just wanted to create songs.
expressing herself
Expressing herself.
in
Yeah,
that way, you
that's
know?
amazing. That is so
Yeah.
cool. So you never thought of yourself as you're just having fun. You're just like creating, having fun at that point.
Well, once, like for me, I never had a desire to be a performer or
Okay.
anything like that. You
She
know,
did. She did.
she was more like driven with the
Okay. So
creative,
I see.
you
Okay.
know. So that's why, like, it never even occurred to me to write a song. You
Okay.
know, I didn't think it was necessary because she was coming out with these songs, and I was busy learning how to fit myself in to them.
Okay.
You
That's
know,
really cool.
but the thing is, Mindy, when I got sprung from high school and was now traveling across Nebraska with my sister on our way to some college where we were going to get to perform these songs, that's when I got hooked. You know, I think I got hooked on the lifestyle of like, you mean you can wander around, you know,
Right.
the country. And I'll tell you one thing and one of the main reasons I wanted to write about this and put this book out was there were no blue states and red states. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
first of all, there was no internet. So
Right.
when you went to Idaho, the people in the college there, they never met someone from New Jersey. So they didn't have a sense of like, oh, you're a liberal or woke or any of that. You know, it was more
Right.
like, you know, you were really one-on-one interacting with people. And I have to say that everywhere we went was fascinating because, you know, they'd have a different kind of breakfast in Louisiana
Right.
than, than they did in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And these were the kinds of things you were paying attention to rather than, oh, they're a left winger and we're a,
Right. Right.
you know,
And that's really cool. That's really interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
It was way before. Right. Nobody was on the internet or on their phones, and they didn't. Yeah.
Meeting the people and the country itself was
So
so
beautiful.
beautiful,
Yeah.
you know, just
I've
driving
gone cross
through it.
country. I know I've done cross country a few times when I was like in my 20s or teenager, probably my 20s.
Right.
I know it's
Right.
neat. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to play like a minute of this song. Or it's how do you say it again?
Can you see that sun? That
Uh,
was kind of us kind of imitating what we thought people talked like. Can you see
Right,
that sun?
right. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit of the song. Okay, here we go. Guess who wants to listen and play? Listen to it. She likes it
Can you see that sun on the west horizon, slowly sinking day away? He's been my guide, and we both come this far. Now we part, and I'm on my way across vast plains, high hills, low valleys. I'm a whistling as I ride. I pack my diary on my saddle, take the west as my new and bride. Across vast plains,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was great.
Thanks, Mindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Tom Miliotto, he did such a great job with these things because some of them were from 1973, some were from 2000, and two of the songs were outtakes from the album that we recorded that Paul Simon was one of the producers and
Right.
Paul Samuel Smith sent me two outtakes from that album, and they're also on this record.
Yeah, that's
And
great. That's
so
really
to
great.
make all of that really kind of flow together, that was a challenge.
Yeah, it sounds great. I've been enjoying so much listening to all the songs on the book album. It's amazing. So anyway, how can people get the book album?
Okay, the only place that the book is available is through my website.
Okay.
The book is a print on demand, so there's
Oh.
not like a big bunch of books that's.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very, ecologically nice. It was done through Lulu Press.
I know, Lou. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
you could go on their site and
Okay.
find it, or you could go through my website, which is terryroche.com,
Okay.
and go to the store page.
Okay,
and it's
great.
available there.
And you have albums and other CDs.
Yes, actually, all of my albums that I've been involved with, the Roaches and my own stuff in Afro Jersey, everything is on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So once you get to the website, you can kind of go down the rabbit hole of the YouTube channel, which
Okay,
is
great.
really fun. And,
Yeah.
and this interview that you and I are doing will go on
On YouTube. Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, I need to wrap this up. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention before?
Well, you had brought up the last chapter called The
Oh, right.
Folder, right? And maybe we should not say what that is, so that
Maybe we shouldn't. Actually, you
people
got to
will
get the
go and
book.
find
You got to get the book.
it.
There's an interesting, page at the end that I found last night. So anyway, why don't you when you get the book, you can find out what the folder is about. We'll keep it a surprise.
Right.
Anyway, and Barbara Walters, passed on recently. I have 2 minutes to go here. And inspired by her, one of the things she would ask people is, she would say, Terry Roche is.
I hope a human being.
Okay. And what is the best and the worst? What was the best and worst time of your life?
They
In
keep
2
going.
minutes or 1 minute.
It goes up and down constantly. It's like one of those interference
For
things on
everybody.
television.
Yeah, for everybody.
yeah.
I know. Well, anyway, Terry, I'm so glad that we did this today. And it's good to see you. You're down in St. John?
Yes, I'm in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands on
Right.
St. John. And thanks for having me, Mindy. Really, it's been great.
I'm glad we finally got it together here.
Yes. yes.
Thanks to Roland Musa
Yes.
and Richard Barone
Yes.
that we all connected.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We love you too, and your music. I'm so inspired by really learning a lot more about your music and the Roaches, and it's just really, you're fantastic, really great. So I'm glad you did this book, and I hope that my listeners will order it at terryroche.com or Lulu Press, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thanks so much, Terry, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you too. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
You too. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Let's see, stop. I hope you all enjoyed that. That was actually, I had to do a pre-recorded interview with her yesterday. So, hope you enjoyed that. And next Thursday at 8, I'm now doing Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I have Jan Close. He is an award-winning pop singer-songwriter who has released 7 albums and 2 EPs. Close was raised in Kenya, South Africa, Germany, and the United States. His recent singles, Sugar My, Flesh and Blood, Love You the Most, and Pilot Light, have accumulated over 5 million streams across all platforms and charted on top 40 radio in the US and South Africa. Anyway, I'll tell you more about him next week, but he's amazing. And I'm really excited. His new album drops tomorrow called Surrender. So we'll be talking about his new album, and I'm going to show you the poster. Here, I can show you his poster right there. So next week, 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific. Hope you can join me either live or on replay. And love you lots. Keep smiling. Keep sweet. Find joy in each day. We all have challenges, but if you can focus on the good, there's always good going on. It'll help you smile. And it's contagious. And it's an instant facelift too. So lots of love, and I will see you next week. Bye. Here's my credits. I'm leaving with my credits if I can find them. I'm kidding. Okay, here we go. It's called the Smile Revolution that comes, goes round and back to you. So smile, 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 a simple smile will do. Smile, 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 and come back to you. Bye.